Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Logan with West Desert Shooter, and today's video is going to be an awesome one. We've got the new release from Uintah Precision, which is their semi-automatic AR-15. So this thing is super cool because AR-15s are super cool. On top of that, I also brought out my Uintah Precision UPR15 bolt action upper, which bolts right onto an AR-15 lower. A lot of people don't really understand that the UPR15 is a direct replacement for an AR-15 upper. All you have to do is punch out your pins, put on the new upper, put in your pins, and that's it. So today we're going to demonstrate both of them at a couple different ranges. Right now we're set up at about 250 yards. I've got two targets up there. We're going to run those back and forth with the semi-auto. That'll be pretty fun. We'll go ahead and give them a smack with the old 6mm ARC. And then we've got another target set up on the hillside out here at 600 plus yards. We're gonna have some fun with that one with the 6mm ARC, talk about the benefits of being able to swap back and forth, and then also give it a rip with the semi-auto. So the ammo we're going to be using today in the AR-15 is going to be my reloaded Sierra 69 grain Match Kings over Varget powder. These shot extremely well compared to some of the other ammunition that I tested. So right here, we're gonna get lined up, gonna go ahead and get dialed. Let's take a look at what my ballistic app was saying that it was supposed to be. Yeah, so it looks like just 1.2 mils out here to 250 yards. Not a big deal at all. Let's go ahead and get this bad boy loaded. I always prefer to lock my bolt back on that, make sure my magazine's in, and then go ahead and drop it. Okay guys, let's start tearing it up with the semi-auto Uintah Precision AR-15. So real quick, let's just talk about the setup of the rifle. This one's dressed up pretty well. We've got an OSS Magnum HXQD out on front. We've got some MDT Arca rail that goes right into the M-LOK rail of the AR-15 from Uintah themselves. We've got Uintah's matching rail, billet upper and lower with a great tight fit, and then we've got a Luth AR stock on here, and then just a Magpul 20 rounder. Of course, up top we've got our Arkin SH4 Gen 2. I will leave an affiliate link down below for them, and MDT Skypod up front, so it should be ready to rock and roll. Let's get this thing leveled out, and let's ring some steel here at 250 yards. So on the semi-auto, I'm running my 4-16 Arkin SH4 Gen 2, and then on my 6mm ARC, I went ahead and put the 6-24 on that one, since it will reach out just a little further. Left plate. I think we hit just a little high there. Yeah, we're definitely hitting high. I actually did not chronograph these out of this gun, so they might be going a little quicker than I anticipated. Well, that's exactly why you run an AR-15. These things are super badass. You can knock out multiple targets super quick and quick follow-up fire. This thing has a mid-length gas system, so it's really nice, smooth shooting. It's got a 16-inch barrel, and it is a stainless barrel. It's actually just Cerakoted black. So you don't get a bunch of shininess, but you do get the awesome performance and weather resistance of a stainless steel barrel. The barrels do come threaded. This one's half 28, and I've got my OSS can adapter out front. Let's go ahead and swap the upper on this thing over to the 6mm ARC. We'll tear up 250 yards real quick, and then we'll move out to real long range and have some fun with it out there. All right, guys, so here we have our spent AR-15. I just emptied the mag, as you guys just saw. So what we're going to do is pop the upper off and convert the semi-auto AR-15 into a bolt-action AR-15, which is super cool because any other bolt gun that you have, you really can't make semi-auto. And I don't know of any other semi-auto you can make a bolt gun as true of a bolt action as this is, and I'm going to show you what I mean there. So what we're going to do is go ahead and remove our magazine. The gun is empty because the bolt was locked back. Chamber's empty. Bolt's home. We can close our dust cover. Now these pins are a little tight on mine, so I just use the edge of my pocket knife here just to push those pins past their detent. They're nothing crazy, but they are nice and snug, which is good for a precision rifle. Okay, got our pins out. Now the uppers off, but what I also want to do is actually take my can off, because I have a QD mount so I can swap it onto my other upper. And then what's great about the MDT SkyPod, runs on Arca rail, slide that off. Now you will have to leave your optic on your uppers if you want just a continuous 0. These are extremely close between the two of them. I actually took the scope off of my 6mm ARC, put it on top of my AR-15 yesterday, and my point of impact was within like a half mil at 100 yards. So really close. Maybe I just got lucky with mine, but definitely curious if other people have a similar experience. So now we've got our bolt action AR-15 upper. Let's show you guys the bolt on this thing. 3-lug, 60-degree throw. This is a legitimate bolt action, guys. So we've got the upper in here. This is not just a straight pull on like a standard AR-15 bolt face. So like I say, 3-lug. Let's throw this guy back in here. I want to make sure you guys know what an AR-15 bolt looks like, which would be nothing like that bolt I just showed you guys. This is a standard BCG. Super awesome. I know they're using a lot of mil-spec quality parts in here. So absolutely a real 3-lug bolt action, and because there's no spring on lift, because you're not cocking your hammer as you're lifting your bolt, it's a nice light bolt lift. So the 60-degree, all that's for is for primary extraction. As you pull the bolt back, that's what resets your hammer, and you've already set up your firing position to accept recoil directly into your shoulder. So as you pull this thing straight back, it's nice and easy to do. Alright guys, all that to say that all you need to do to put these things back together, go ahead and mate up your receivers again. And then I usually try and get my front pin in first. Go ahead and close up the rear pin. Now you might be asking about the buffer tube spring. The buffer tube spring is still in there because I'm switching back and forth. You can absolutely remove it, and then you do not get any spring pressure on your bolt action. Now your bolt will go this far back without any spring tension. It's the last 2 inches of travel that you have to fight the spring just a little bit. However, when you have that spring tension, when you're fully pulled back, as it goes to strip the round for the next one to go into the chamber, you get a little spring assistance there, and it actually helps out. I'm a big fan of it. So let's get back to the firing line now that we've got our 6mm ARC set up. Now I do have to switch out magazines. I do have specific magazines for this caliber. Let's go ahead and cinch up our bipod there on the Arca rail. And then I've got reverse thread on my OSS HXQD mount. Here we go, 6mm ARC with a can and a bipod, a zeroed optic, ready to rock and roll. And if I wasn't explaining all this, we could have probably done that in about 30 seconds. All right guys, the ballistic data here is showing me 0.9 mils. Let's see if both these things are off today. I'm feeling a little more confident with the 6 arc because I did not zero check my AR-15 this morning. See what I mean with the spring return there? Here we go, 6 arc, left plate. Well, that certainly was fun. Let's move out to some longer distances and go beat up some steel out there. All right, guys, we're gonna call that 700. So I think it's like 697, somewhere in there. Now, this is not a huge target for 700 yards. I think it's right around 2 MOA. So this should be 5.3 mils. Let's send it. Okay, so let's zero out my wind. Second round impact. Can't complain about that. Well, all right. I mean, I think we dropped 2 shots there. One of them was because when I made my follow-up, I tried to shoot it quickly, and when I made my follow-up shot, I didn't hold correctly. I was holding on the bottom edge of that plate to correct out where the bullet actually ended up. So pretty dang awesome shooting there with the 6mm ARC. Now let's try a 700-yard shot with Uintah Precision's AR15 in semi-automatic. All right, we are done with the 6mm ARC for the day, so we're going to swap back. I'm going to skip the whole explanation, and I'm just going to show you guys how quickly we can do this. But first, I just noticed, let's run our arc and optic back down to 0. There we go. Glad I had my 0 stop. I almost dialed it the wrong way. Now, when dealing with the hot suppressor, having a pair of gloves is a big help. So from here, let's see how quickly we can do this. And I'm not going to race, but I want to just get this thing swapped over and continue shooting. I do bring out a bucket of water with me when I go shooting like this, so I can actually cool down my suppressor as we go. Okay, rifle's clear. Go ahead, and I'm just pushing on those springs here, your takedown pins. Like I say, just using the corner of my pocket knife. Gotta get my fingernails to grab hold of those. Front pin's a little tight, man. Okay. So, original upper's off. And that's it. Name any other rifle that you can go from semi-auto to bolt action, and I'll try one out. But right now, I think Uintah Precision is the only name in the game right here, guys. Semi-auto AR-15. Just got my magazine over there. I need to throw it in. I'm going to cool off the can before we shoot. All right, guys. So this one's a little weird. Basically, I ended up a 1/2 mil low of what my ballistic data called for at 250. So what I did is I cut my 700-yard ballistic chart by a 1/2 mil as well. Maybe my 0 was off by a 1/2 mil. So I probably won't be getting a first round impact, but we'll see what that does for us, and we'll see what this thing comes up with. So this ammo is, it should be pretty consistent, but I honestly expect the 6mm ARC to outperform the AR-15 at this kind of range, but I don't doubt that this AR-15 can get it done. Okay, that was quite a bit high. Still high. All right, well, I mean, my dope is way off on this thing. I did get some mixed in hits in there, but that kind of highlights the point of AR-15s are great. They're super badass. They're great defense weapons. They're super fun to shoot. However, stepping it up to something like a 6mm ARC is a great way to go, especially when you pair that with Uintah Precision's bolt action uppers, where it just adds that added level of precision with the real bolt action. I mean, I was slaying that target with my 6mm ARC, and with my AR-15, I did get some hits, and these are only 69 grains. Some 75s would probably be preferable. But, I mean, you can get it done, but you can do it better with the bolt action 6mm ARC. But both of these things are flat out performing. I haven't had a single issue with my AR-15 here. I did some accuracy testing with can on, can off. That's one thing I want to touch on. This is just the standard gas setting. There's no adjustable gas block on here, and I never mess with it for my can. The OSS allows very low back pressure, So you can slap it right onto your AR-15s and not have an issue. But outside of that, I mean, the arc and optics are doing great. I think my zero's just off, and then my velocities are probably way different than what I think they are, especially after this second distance. Something's up there. But overall, guys, I hope you enjoyed the demonstration of the gas gun versus the bolt gun. I hope you now understand a little better that this is an AR-15, and even with the bolt action on top of it, it's an AR-15. You can slap it on top of your Colt lower, your Stag Arms lower, any standard AR-15 lower, you can put the bolt action on, and then even their uppers. These are just a pretty matching set, and they fit better. But, I mean, you could absolutely slap it on any standard AR-15 lower you want. Like my Palmetto State Armory, I've run one on top of there before. So I greatly appreciate you guys' time. Drop a comment down below. We'll see you guys in the next one.